Hello, my name is Leanna, and Shiloh, my kitty, will be joining us today. So, because of my love for cats, I decided to read the book called A Street Cat Named Bob by James Bowen. So, first I'll start with a little summary. The story is about the author and his journey, beginning as a homeless drug addict. Eventually, he decided to make a better life for himself by getting clean, renting an apartment, and busking to earn money. Along that path towards recovery, he met Bob the street cat. So he takes him in as his own, and one day decides to bring him along while selling newspaper or singing and playing his guitar like he typically does to earn money. Bob's presence increased James's profit made significantly each day. And the author goes on to describe details of their journey while adding information related to leadership and management growth. So, the usefulness of the book. I found this book very applicable in many ways to the topic of business. James describes his journey as a musical street performer and newspaper salesman, both before and after meeting Bob, discussing the failures and successes of each. He provides many pieces of advice that relate to leadership, marketing, and management based on knowledge gained through his life experiences. And then I included some examples of advice that I noted particularly because I found it helpful to myself. These include 1, the benefit of using a marketing strategy that really makes you unique and lets you stand out from all the other competitors, because this is really what's going to get you to succeed and make profit. 2, the value of responsibility and organization in the success of a business. If it's just chaotic and unorganized and you don't take responsibility for actions or the actions of your staff and don't plan accordingly or react accordingly, then it's just going to be a very chaotic situation. And 3, the importance of strategically navigating relationships with others and choosing your battles wisely. This is very important because as physical therapists, my classmates and I, are going to encounter many situations that require us to really think about how we want to react to something, or if we want to say something, or if it's worth it. So we really have to be strategic about how this is done. Now we'll talk about the key points and highlights as it relates to leadership and management growth. The first one I discuss is, in order to succeed, a business owner must implement strategies to market his or her company that specifically appeals to the desired target audience. So, in the book that I read, women were not primarily Bowen's intended target market, but by having Bob by his side when performing in the streets, significantly increased the amount of attention gained from the female population. The cat enabled bystanders to perceive Bowman as way more than just a street person in need of money. They saw him as a human being with the capacity to love and care for something such as a feline that's so genuine and pure. Second, it's necessary to find your niche and a way to stand out from the rest, which is something that I already sort of established, but this is very important. And by James including his cat Bob when performing around and selling newspapers, he stood out from the rest because this is clearly something that you don't see every day, and you don't typically see people walking around with cats on a leash. So this inevitably fascinated people and really interested them, which increased the amount of traffic or customer base that James had, resulting in an increase in profit made each day. And third, something can always be gained from any challenge faced in life, whether it's something just frustrating. James struggled with his drug addiction, so that was his struggle, his challenge that he faced every day for a long time, and eventually he decided that he needed to stop because he couldn't continue living that life, that depressed, chaotic life. So he began the process toward recovery. This decision led him to reside in an apartment complex in Tottenham, and one day when he was entering that apartment complex in the hallway, Bob was lying on the floor. And this is the point at where their journey started together, because Bob would be there every day, so eventually that's when James decided to take him in as his own, and they sort of just saved each other. And because of that challenge of him being a drug addict that led him to Bob, and if his course were any different, then they might have never met.